Welcome to Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, where today's title, we're doing big salary, big speed, racing for cash in GT7 while trying to become a much faster, smarter, better racer. So if you want to become a faster, better racer with big money added into the pot, you're at the right place. So we are racing for big money, how to earn huge rewards fast in GT7 and get faster in the process. So let's hit it up. Welcome to JCCR Racing. Before we get started, hit thumbs up, subscribe, and turn bell notification on because this is one of the ultimate Gran Turismo 7 racing hubs. We're going to be covering fastest cars, biggest wins, and maximum thrills on every single video that we throw out here. If you're looking to dominate Gran Turismo 7, want to earn big money, unlock the best cars, and master every track, you're in the right place. Talking about mastering every track, a great place to start is the Nürburgring. The green hell, going all out around the track through the forest. If you can handle this track, it will throw so many bendies at you. If you can handle these turns, you can handle the turns of any course. It's hard, very, very difficult to master, but if you master it, you're going to be able to master any vehicle. So what you're going to find here today is insane GT7 money-making methods and reward strategies, pro racing tips to shave seconds off your lap times, and the best car setups for every track and event, high stakes races, epic challenges, and next level gameplay. That's what you get when you subscribe and turn bell notifications on. So if you're passionate about GT7 and you are into total domination, just turn that bell notification on. We try to have a live every single night. Now let's see. If you want to become faster and make some money, we got the Nürburgring here. Do the green hell on Touring Car 800. We're going to get into that in just a moment, but faster money crunches. We've got 24-hour Le Mans racetrack. This is one of the fastest way. Either take PP 700 for 30 minutes and get 550,000 credits with almost a guarantee to get a clean race bonus, or hit up the 10 laps of the PP 900 depending on what you prefer to race. Gotta relax and be happy in the process, and that means once in a while we have to stop doing our online tracks. We try to get at least one live in every day for those online races, but boy can they ever be frustrating and they don't make money. So where can we make money? Well, we can certainly hit up Sardinia and do the 15 laps, PP 800. That's performance points, not pricing power or anything else you might have thought of. And you've got 485,000 credits and a very easy clean race bonus for an added 50%. So about 700,000 to pick up right there. Now, where else can we go? You got the Sardinia Windmills, and that's not the right one because it's an off-road track and does not have very many credits. Croatia Dragon Trail, fantastic trail, beautiful racetrack, beautiful scenery, and you can see here you've got good amount of credits to be had right here. Much easier than doing Northcliffe or Nürburgring, Red Bull Ring in Australia. Easy credits, not too difficult to get used to this track, and often an online race. So if you want to get better, you can try to hit up the GT Cup GR3, but it is maximum hot, spicy beans there, jalapeno peppers all over the place. It's gonna burn you, but if you can master it, fantastic. You will end up a lot faster, but not necessarily the fastest money grind out there. You can definitely take it a little easier on the PP 700. That will be a lot easier for you, and you can always hit circuit experience on any track to pick up 1,000,000 credits. Deep Forest Raceway seems to be non-stop appearing on the online races, so you might want to try to get faster here, but not the fastest way. 10 laps, 115. So the big money grind, 24-hour Le Mans track, or the race here, Spa. You can do Spa. Can't guarantee you first on 3 out of 5 hot beans right there, but the 800 is a pretty darn easy $1 million, but you need 60 minutes of your time. But you can pause it at any time and do it in 2 or 3 shots. So there is a great money grind, but beware, you are going to run in the rain, and that could throw you off and leave you with, you know, the 55-minute mark. You might lose it all out in the rain. Now the Nürburgring, I want to get faster with you all. I want to go from 0 to hero, or that's the big goal, get into the A class one day. But in the meantime, we want to get every week from beginner to winner. So to prepare us for any track that we might get thrown at us on a regular basis, you can do this track, you can race any track. And we're gonna take our 911 RSR, even though this is known as the green hell, because if your back tires on these mid-engine cars that handle oh so well go on the grass or on an elevated curb, you will slide out. So I recommend, talking about best cars, if you want a much easier car to drive, I do recommend you can always tune down one of these cars, like the Porsche here, or the Nissan, or the Mazda. All these can be tuned down under 800 pp. You put hard tires on and you're gonna have an easy race. But if you want to get faster with your online race car for, let's say, GR3, well, you've got your Ferrari. That's going to be tough. The Lamborghini, very tough. They have trouble with the curbs. If the curbs are elevated, all that weight on the rear end of the vehicle, the rear wheels, when they take the elevation of a curb on and off, it can easily spin out the car. So not the easiest choices. You want to go with something a lot easier, jump into a front engine rear wheel drive setup. If you want to stay with your mid engine, jump into the NSX, or one of the easiest vehicles to drive. Now, easy vehicles to drive, front engine rear wheel drive for this track will be a lot easier. So your BMW M6, your GTR, your Supra, or your Corvette are all going to be much easier choices, ensuring you that grind. Now, the NSX down here, GT500, is also, it's pretty much it's definitely one of the easiest mid engines to drive. Now, we want to stick with Porsche. We want to get better with Porsche. So we're not going to do the thing that's the wisest and smartest thing for a money grind, but we're going to do what's going to make us faster. So we're not going to jump into the easiest money grind, which is to have this car bought and paid for, drop it down to 799 pp, and you're going to have a real easy time. We're going to throw up the racing softs and hope the tires last, but the safe, smart money would be to run racing mediums. You can go to your car modifications here and make sure downforce is the highest so you can get through those corners as quickly as possible. And do remember, know your track well enough. You can always ask ChatGPT, but try one lap and come back and adjust here. This is a track with a very long straightaway, so we don't want to run out of speed, but basically the lower you put this, the faster you're going to accelerate through those initial gears, but you're going to hit a top speed and possibly get passed on the straightaways and take a lot more fuel going down those straightaways as well. Now for the medium, we'll go to high RPM. You know what, we'll keep it on medium here. Medium turbocharge, and that's how we'd set it up with racing soft tires. So let's get into the race. All right, so we got the Touring Car 800. We've shown you the easy way to take on this track, and that easy way is tune down that GR1 car, those classic race cars, the Mazda, the Nissan, the Porsche. We're going to do it the little harder way because we also want to get faster for our online racing. Get the wheel connected here. This from the Sim Racer. We're running a Thrustmaster TGT2 and quite pleased with it. So you can see the Viper up there in first, and AMG, not by no coincidence, are the top cars here, front engines, because the rear engine Porsche 911 or those mid engines do really have trouble on, they're all front engines because they're all a better, safer, smarter choice. Now we're going to keep actually the track on because we want to see what is coming for turns. So we got 3 laps with soft tires and full fuel. We'll likely have to pit once to discover that. But remember, if you can drive this track, you can drive any track. It requires a lot of trail braking. might have lost the clean race bonus there. So big tip, take the time to drive clean. You don't have to pass everyone on lap, 1 or 2. You can be passing your final car in lap 3. Now for tuning the car, we're going to put the brake balance towards the rear. So 2 towards the rear. That'll free up the front wheels, less braking on the front wheels. It means we slow down a little slower, but we do get more turn in on the turns, which is going to be important as we discover, last minute discovery of turns. So take the brake balance to +2 here, and now we're ready to race. We got to get the map back on though, so we're not surprised too badly. This track is very difficult to memorize because there are, 70-some turns? At least it would feel that way. I know it's not the case, but it feels like we're endlessly turning left and right, making this incredibly fun and incredibly frustrating until you get a handful of important, basic, yet very important race techniques or strategies, actions down pat. So one of the big ones is you always want to go in slower so you can get the right line. You don't want to be going so fast that you can't get the right line. Getting the right line is so important, and this on any racetrack, but this racetrack really exemplifies that and drills it home, because if you don't have the right line, you touch just a little bit of grass, especially in a mid-engine vehicle, you are going off the track. These mid-engine vehicles are very high-end, expensive vehicles, and they do not refuse to be treated like a lawn tractor, so they won't let you take any grass. Now, we're not online racing, and still the AI can be a little dirty, but at least only a little dirty. Far less frustrating than racing online. Now, we got soft tires, so we're gonna have to pit. We're gonna have to pit for the tires anyway, so we want fuel on maximum map. And we can already see, wow, on maximum map, I think we might only get 1 lap. I'm not gonna run 6th here on fuel, but I'll coast a little more. Now, important tip for GT7 is you basically have a co-pilot in the vehicle or a pit crew over the headset, because little gear suggestion is basically like having a co-pilot or the pit crew saying you got, turn number or by name coming up. You should be in top of 2nd, top of 3rd. Like here it's saying next turn should be top of 2nd. Top of 1st to get the proper rotation through here, and then most cars you're going to take off in 2nd to avoid a total spin out. The 911 though, meaty 1st gear, lots of speed to the 1st gear, so you can take off often in 1st, and we're running traction control on 2nd, 2, traction control on 2 when we're discovering new tracks. Once we have them memorized down pat, then we can turn down the traction control to 1 or 0 for greater speed. Now you can see we're playing around with the brakes there. If we brake through a corner, as long as it's light to medium braking, the front will rotate. Because we're at +2 brake balance towards the rear, very important. So there you can see we can turn in while we're still on the brakes, just not to the floor. So if you're online, you probably want to favor having the radar on to avoid accidents from, dirty donkeys and dirty dogs. They're going to try to spear you into another stratosphere. But if you're playing against the AI, I would say, and trying to make a money grind, it's important. They're not going to take you out too badly. They'll hit on you a little, but it's not so bad. So you probably much better off having the track map on the zoomed in track map unless it's a track you already know. And if you know the North Cliff off by heart, drop a comment. I want to get to know you because you're an ultimate driver. You're nearing the, either we can say you're a pro or a very experienced driver. Now this track forces us to use all the most basic and most important tips for driving, and that one of those is to use the whole track and hunt those apexes. And it also teaches you patience. It's important to be patient when racing. Passing at the wrong time can cost you a whole race. So like here, I'm staying back. They're driving slower than we are, but I'm not going to make the pass until I can do it safely. This is one of the places the track widens up a little. You can risk a pass online, good luck, and good luck ever getting this as an online race. They generally stay away from the green hell. Sorry about that, a little bit of noise coming from Winston. He'll calm down in just a moment. Marie will let him upstairs. All right, so we're gonna follow and be patient. This Subaru, fantastic car, good front engine, lots of stability, decent, like one of the better cars on the grass, like the Nissan GTR, can handle a little bit of landscaping work. And you wanna get clean, safe passes like that. And the brake balance on 2 allows us to go through turns on the brakes as long as it's not to the floor and still get rotation off the front. Get a nice, clean, safe pass. All right. Sorry about this again. So the straightaway, this is why we didn't just drop the top speed of the vehicle to a very low speed. Yes, we got the benefit of all that acceleration, but imagine having a lower speed to have even more acceleration. Well, the straightaway here becomes a real problem. And the pit looked to be closed for that section, so I guess the pit is right here. Thankfully, we still made it to the pits. Now, we had 1 lap. We'll put on racing mediums so that the tires and the fuel will last. We'll do 1 pit. If we played it really safe, throw on racing hards. This will drop us down to P15, but I'm not too worried. I think this is going to be easy money as long as it doesn't start to rain. Oh, and you got to remember, even though you're playing against the AI, check the rules because look at that. They've got a pit penalty. Pit lane crossing penalty. So if you ever wonder why you get a 3-second penalty, that's what happens when you cross the pit line. Might as well make it a habit and just never cross that line. I made a bad assumption saying, hey, we're racing AI. They will not have thrown that on, but boy, was I ever wrong. Not watching the track map, so not following the basic tips, and that's the type of thing that happens when you don't follow those basic, easy to follow tips. The gear selection suggestion, very important, so we know we should be going through here, top of second. And the bottom map. Some slow traffic out here. Probably try and conserve fuel and be on the lowest 6 for fuel. which if we would have started with racing hard tires and put it on 6, we probably could have done all 3 laps without pitting once. So if you're finding the race tough and hard, you can always try that. Try to avoid a pit so everyone else will pit. You'll be 30 seconds ahead of them, but make sure in the rules that there's not a requirement to pit. Because whether you're online or against the AI, not following the race rules will get you a big time penalty and put you in last. Now we get the fun of overtaking all these cars again. Because we started with soft tires, we definitely needed to swap it up. And we're out of fuel, so we're on a fuel mapping actually to do 1 lap at a time. So we can either drop in fuel map 6 if we want to survive, or swap back to the medium tires at the end of the race. But we'll try running out on 6 because we were passing people pretty quickly anyways. So there, use some light braking to save us from going out off the track. Hard braking, we would have slid right off. No braking, we probably would have caught the curb and spun out. So with just a slight braking, and also you can use a downshift. If you're driving manual, you'll have engine braking to slow you down. So with the mid-engine here, avoiding these high curbs that will spin us out. Now, we didn't get spun out when that car just speared us, and the reason is we have counter steering on weak, and it really saves us from online dirty dogs or the AI when they're just a little pushy and impatient here. See, you get the right line, you get back on the throttle sooner, and you just propel yourself ahead of the competition, making for easy, safe overtakes. And of course, releasing the throttle helps with turn-in as well. So if ever you're wondering why you're not turning as much as you'd like through a corner, well, you're either probably too much on the brakes or too hard on the throttle. Sometimes getting through a corner is just about letting go of the throttle. And of course, you can memorize a track until it's turned into muscle memory, or you can come and learn all that on this track and then grinding for money or getting online positions in races is going to be second nature and easy. Driving out, but using the full track to get the most carry, the most amount of speed as possible through the turns. And racing isn't about how fast your car accelerates, because when you're doing the real races and they're BOP tuned, everyone's got pretty much the same acceleration, almost the same braking capacity, and it's all about using the track, more of the track than anyone else. That means you go from the extreme outside to the extreme inside, you hunt those apexes, and when you do that, you can go through the turns at faster speeds. Get down in the first here as the game suggests, so we can have more turn in than the car we're passing. He probably stayed in second, or is doing the simulation of someone who stayed in second gear and doesn't have the right amount of turn in. There we go. Running the green hell. It is the best place to learn to become a faster driver. But just not as your first race ever. You definitely want to have the basics down and understand the basics of racing, because if you understand the basics of racing and you apply them to each turn, you're going to go through here pretty quickly. definitely fast enough, and you'll have the great reward and thrill of having raced the green hell without crashing. So remember, we are watching the gear suggestion at the bottom saying we should go through there at the top of second. Now again, top of second, use the whole track, hunt these apexes so you can be back, get sped out, you go into a turn slower, it's a lot safer. So you go in slower so you can get that drive line, hunt the apex, and get spat out further down the track and be back on the accelerator pedal sooner without going into the wall. So 2 coming up, got to watch a little map track because I don't have this memorized. So the course map, bottom right of your screen, will really help you out. So 2 through here, brake balance at 2 towards the rear, so we can do some last minute braking and still make it through, still direct the vehicle, because the front wheels are, instead of locking up underneath the brakes, they are free to direct the vehicle while the rear wheels get us through. The rear wheels get us through by doing most of the braking, or majority of the braking. Paying off our 3-second penalty for crossing a pit line, not helping at all with trying to catch up to 22 seconds to first. But of course we're doing this without the easiest method, which would have been to take a GR1 car, such as the Nissan, the Porsche, or the Mazda, and tuning it down to 799 performance points. That would have been a real easy money grind, but we want to get faster and better with the GR3 cars. So online racing can be more rewarding. To the complete outside, hunt the apexes when possible. Where am I going here? Okay, we're not turning off track. Not used to having the additional, well, last night I raced part of this. Didn't have the stadium section here. We had the road course only. First gear, full rotation. Didn't get the right line, so shot out much earlier in the turn instead of getting spat out further down the track. Braking here, then turn in. First for rotation. Most cars, second for takeoff, but you can see very low power in the Porsche 911 in second gear, so often you will be using first gear. So if you don't have any traction control, it can be really tricky getting it just right, knowing when to do your takeoffs in first or takeoffs in second. That's why this is an expert's vehicle, especially if you're running traction control at 0. Now the 911 is a very well-balanced car. The rear end has a lot of weight on those tires because it's a rear engine. And that's why I love this car, but also why I need to drive it with traction control on too. All right, so we've saved a pit, and that means we're at the top of the pack. Instead of pitting twice, we turned down our fuel map. And we know the fuel map, we're going to be fine. 1 lap took us on 6, took us almost half a tank, meaning very soon we can throw that fuel map down to 1 and have all the power available to this car. And it will dramatically increase the acceleration. Lower gear for more front end rotation. Do some trail braking to the apexes. So we've dropped the air fuel ratio. Basically we're just putting more fuel to the injectors, so now we're going to have more acceleration and hope to have planned it out nicely, because we don't want to ruin our last lap by running out of gas a kilometer before the finish line, or a half mile before the finish line. Gear suggestion 2, so you go through in second with more. And because we're at the high RPM, we don't have to worry about spinning out from excess torque to the rear wheels. You gotta be patient, wait for the right time to pass. Online, they would have bashed us likely. Should have listened to the game telling me to go through there in second. Saved it though, because I didn't start, you know, once you're going to go to the grass, let go of the brake, let go of the accelerator, and just try to ride it out. It's also what you do when you're trying to drive through some thick snow, when you get hit with some excess snow on the road. You can't be playing around with your brake pedal or accelerator pedal. Now we're 6.5 seconds behind first. Hopefully we're not on full power. We're on power level 3. Because I don't want to run out of gas. I don't want to finish last trying to ensure that I get a pass on first. Take a calculated risk instead of going all or nothing. And there he is, a little bit of patience. So trail braking, how does it work? It means you brake all the way to the apex, and that usually means you're going to slide through the corner if you're full braking. So when you're turning in a straight line, pedal to the metal on the brake pedal. But as you start to turn your steering wheel, you need to ease up on that brake pedal. And the same thing is true coming out of turns. When you come off the apex, normally you start adding fuel once you've gotten to the middle of the apex. That's the inside of a turn, the little candy canes. You want to ease into the acceleration pedal, because if the steering wheel's not straight and you're full on the accelerator, you're likely going to slide out or spin out. Fishtail, have all sorts of problems. Big turn coming up because we see one down there. Ease up on the throttle, not full throttle as we have that steering wheel turned in. Follow behind him, let him brake win for us, and no, that's not a smelly gas joke. That's about saving gas and having the power to pass them, because when following behind, you will be faster. No surprise to see a Toyota Supra up here. It's very fast, and I want to leave a little bit of space because I'm too close. I won't see enough of the track, and this is a very narrow track with grass very close and trees on the outside, and that's why it's known as the Green Hell. Because it is the easiest track in the world to crash on. It is the most extreme track, and it's a whole lot of fun or frustration depending on the results. So just need to be patient. We'll get our time to pass. Didn't catch air there because we took that a little slower. It's turning out to be quite the race. Last lap. And it is a spirited last lap. As we follow closely behind the Brazilian. Ooh, almost a very slight trading of paint. Rubbin is racing, and now it's just Rubbin. It wasn't a punt. punting is not racing. It's Mario Kart Twisted Metal action. It's clown class racing. Now, the other thing is to know, big tip, know the vehicle you're driving. So for example, past the Supra, on the Supra, you need to short shift. On the 911, you're going to get the most speed by shifting when the vehicle is really revved out. Really, it's a high, it makes all its power in the high RPM. So I don't think we actually needed to tune down. I dropped the gas to make sure we could finish the race, but that was just an added safety precaution. Because we're fine. But boy, that was close on fuel. So there is many ways to make big money very fast, because that didn't take very much time. We're running like what, it's 8 minutes 10 seconds a lap roughly, so we're doing a little over about a 25 minutes of racing on the world's hardest racetrack, the most extreme racetrack, I'm sorry, 832.1. And some of that was affected by slower driving with less power to the wheels. But that's, folks, how you can make money fast. That's one of the best ways to make money fast, but also become a lot faster as a racer. So thank you so much for watching. I wish you all more cars and more power, and hope you get to put the pedal to the metal on a car that you love, or maybe even your dream car sometime real soon. And sometimes getting to race our dream cars, most of the time, means we don't actually get to do so in the real world. So that's why we've got sim racing. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget, if you made it this far, drop the comment finisher, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe with bell notifications on so you don't miss any chaotic clown racing that goes on this channel online. Fastest, best ways to make money, best ways to get faster and a more knowledgeable race driver. And well, we've got the finest live stream community dropping live comments. We've got very great racers. We've got expert racers that are class racers giving tips and tricks so that we can all become faster. So lots of coaching and mentoring going on in the live stream. That's another reason why you want to make sure you're subscribed with bell notifications on. Until next time, take care, folks. Wish you all more power. We're blessed to have you watching the channel, supporting this small family-based business. I wish you all a fantastic weekend. God bless, folks. Take care.